Okay. Hey, here we go. It's Dr. Fred with Elite Coaching, and we're sitting here for a very specific reason with Hailey Jules, who builds teams, right? You have what's it called? Inspired Practice Solutions. There you go. It's in the background. And the reason we're coming here today is because, obviously we coach corrective care practices. Everybody knows that. I mean, Elite is known. Thank you for all the respect we get around the profession. And we're also known, we have a very specific niche. We're strictly spinal correction. We work a lot with CBP docs, although we help all spinal corrective docs. And we do that because we just believe the standard is higher. With the principle of a subluxated spine causes disease, I just think we should fix it. And so we share that core value. But the main thing is, and I actually watched your interview with Lily Serrano, which was great. And that is, you mentioned something about staying in your own lane, and basically what that is doctors are healers, chiropractors are healers. We get into chiropractic because we want to help people. And what people don't get and what doctors don't get is they're trying to manage their clinics. And you began in an Elite clinic and you've come up through Elite and now you're expanding into other types of chiropractors, but really the premise is the same. And that is the team runs the practice, develop a powerful team. The team runs and grows the practice. That's what we teach in Elite. So when the doctor can be the doctor and you have a strong culture and a powerful team, then you can go to any level you want. So I know you teach that around the profession.
Absolutely. I completely agree. Well, thank you for having me with you here today. I always say my journey started with Elite. I know you were the first one to invite me to come and speak and run your breakout sessions. And now we've transformed, and we call them breakthrough sessions. We don't break out, we break through at Elite Coaching Bootcamps. So thank you, Dr. Fred.
Well, I think really the breakthrough was you began in an Elite office and you actually went to the boot camps as a team member.
I did, yes.
Right, and then you're one of the few, if the only one, I'm not sure, but probably the only one that uses a lot of NLP principles and things, and really a professional self-empowerment system that you learned coming up through the system, and then you obviously expanded on your own. So how's that helped? How's that made you so unique compared to other team trainings, and what massive benefit have you noticed from that and the impact that you make in teams that they make in their office?
Absolutely. I think the biggest thing is that I've learned from my mentors, including you, Dr. Fred, is that really we have the power of everything we need. It's already inside of us. And that's really the trick and secret, I believe, is unlocking your team's true potential to live and thrive at their best. And if everyone in the office is working at that level, you really are unstoppable, as the upcoming events theme. You really are unstoppable and can do anything and get anywhere, both in practice and in life. And so I think that's the biggest difference. This is about lifestyle, living a better quality of life, because after all, that's what we're in the chiropractic profession. That's what we're helping other people do, is live the best quality of life. So we must be congruent with that message and enjoy our lives as well in chiropractic.
Yeah, so really what it's also about too, to understand, I think the most important thing is really understanding who you are. So why don't you tell a little bit of your story, and then we can see the progression of where you began, what inspired you, what allowed you to really devote your life to chiropractic and to where you are now. So where does that story start?
Oh, thank you. Okay, that's a great question. So the story started, like you mentioned earlier, with going into an Elite office with one of my family members. And the real difference between that office and really any other medical office I had ever been to was the communication level that the team had with myself as the family member and my family, communicating the message of health. And it made sense. It was clear. It was precise. It was genuine. I could tell that these were people that really wanted to make a difference. And I had been to other chiropractic offices in the past, and I lived under the illusion really that chiropractic was just about back pain. They weren't able to communicate to me the true power of it and what it was really doing. So we left. And then we went to Wellness Choice, and Newport Beach was the lead office. And that is when we saw the difference in the communication. And we truly understood that this, the posture organ connection because of the communication levels.
Well, you know, that's so key because everybody, of course, loves chiropractic. I mean, you go into any office, the majority of teams love chiropractic.
Absolutely.
You know, and they understand the purpose. The difference is, and I think what you mentioned is the way they communicate. So you said something, and maybe these are my words. You felt like they really cared, or you felt.
Yes.
What was it that you said?
They were so genuine.
They were so genuine, right? So now doctors could be watching this, or team members could be watching this, and they say, well, I'm genuine. And we believe that you are genuine, and you love chiropractic in your heart. However, when you look at a system of communication, what is the patient understanding? Like, they may get that you care, but do they get the bigger message? And that's really what made the life-changing difference. So when you felt like you got it, what was that impact for you? And I believe it was your mother, right?
Yes. That impact is the difference between a quick fix and getting out of pain and choosing the lifestyle of chiropractic. So it was then that I chose this as a lifestyle for me and my family, and then started expanding in the profession myself. So I think that's really the key difference is either, but based off of the way that you communicate in practice, you're either going to help someone with a quick fix, or you're going to transform their lives forever and help them continue to live a life of thriving. And that's one of the things that I really value about Elite, is that Elite is all about creating lifetime patients and helping people live this better life for forever and continue to grow and continue to thrive.
Now, so, and this is important because now you know NLP, right? And you know how when a person makes an emotional decision, like you've been to chiropractor with pain care, that gets wired into your brain. So here you came to this chiropractor. Were you referred by someone who told you this could be about their health? Were you going in there expecting back pain care, and then their systems converted you, or how did that work?
Yeah, I would say it's the love and the system. So the mindset and systems, which I know is a mantra of yours, is training on mindset and systems. Those were the two key factors.
Cool. So then you went through care, and then you decided to work there. So how did that work?
Absolutely. It was actually several years later. I then lived in the area and decided to work there. And I wanted to know more. Like, my first question, Dr. Fred, when myself and my family members got great results, is the question we all ask: why don't more people know about this? I felt like I had found the fountain of youth and the secret to life and the secret to thriving. And I always had loved, as you know, coaching NLP, human behavior. So I always loved the mental, spiritual aspect of thriving. And I felt like I found its physical counterpart, and they came together into wholeness and oneness. And so obviously that was something that I had to find out more about. Why don't people know about this? And I became quite obsessed and had the opportunity to work in the practice and really see the level that they communicated at, and see the life-changing results. I mean, to me, every single patient that I saw, it was a miracle. I couldn't believe it, the things people came in with and the kinds of results that they got. And I know that, Dr. Fred, I know you saw this all the time in practice, and anyone watching this that's a chiropractor, you see this every day. Still, to me, I mean, it blows my mind every time, the miracles that people get, the healing of organ problems. And I think it's so easy. I remember when I was working in practice one day giving a re-exam, and the woman I was giving a re-exam to, when she first came into the workshop and wrote her life goal was to live past 60. Because she had all the women in her family had died of a disease by age 60. And I remember the day I took her through a re-exam, and every single re-exam I'd ask her, like, how long do you want to live? How long do you want to live? And every day she came in, I'd tell her, you're one step closer to living a longer, healthier life. Your body's getting stronger every time you come in. And, the first re-exam, she's like, oh, well, 60 is still 60. The second one, she moved it up to 62. And then I remember the day, I think it was her third or fourth re-exam, she came in and she was so excited. And before we even got started, she looked at me and she said, I know that I can live past 60. I know that I can break the chain of what's been going on in my family. And I remember being so excited in that moment, but here's the real kicker, Dr. Fred. By the time I left the re-exam room, because I was doing this every day all the time, I actually forgot. I even forgot to tell my team members, I forgot to celebrate these life-changing results. And that was really the moment that inspired me and motivated me to help other teams, because what I realized is in this profession, we can get so jaded by the great results that we get. Like, we're used to it. It's normal. Yeah, this happens all the time. And so I do these re-exams, and all of a sudden I was losing the excitement and forgetting about how it was completely changing someone's life. So I think that that's the real key, is not only to get excited and inspired at the beginning, but to maintain that excitement, maintain that inspiration, and really be present with every single patient and understand that this is changing their life and really see it from their perspective and their world.
Right. That's so awesome.
Thank you.
And then we, of course, we learn through human behavior that retention is all about pleasure, right? So we have all these, and we teach pleasure systems for long-term retention and lifetime care. So how important is that? And we actually have that system in our staff meetings where we talk about these things, which I'm sure a lot of doctors do. But to think, you had that experience and then you forget, it's so, and that's why I sometimes, I say that we expect miracles. And I know in my life as a practicing chiropractor, the people that helped my conviction weren't the miracles. It was the ones that died. It was the ones that I couldn't help. There's a great movie as with Kevin Costner. Oh God, I forget what the name of it is, but he's a Coast Guard. And Ashton Kutcher keeps saying, what's your number? What's your number? Like how many he saved. And then at the end of the movie, he says 23. That was the number I couldn't save.
Oh, wow.
And it's like, it's exactly what you said. Like you get so used to the miracles, that sometimes we take it for granted, and putting intention into celebrating it, which is one of the things that you teach teams for retention.
Yes.
Right. And that keeps your purpose going. So I remember you at the boot camps being on Dr. Nona's team, and I remember using you for a demonstration and playing. And then it seemed like just a short time later after that, you came to me and said, I want to start training CAs, and you loved you grew up in, that was a CBP practice. Corrective care is a core value, although you work with other doctors too.
Certainly.
So, and then that's where you started, and you've just done an amazing job. So what was the elevation and purpose from a team member into a trainer?
Yeah, that's a great question. While you were talking, it reminded me of something that I always hear you say at all your events, that your purpose pulls you. And that was actually my exact experience, because I remember the day you called me to start to see if I could run breakout sessions. And up until that point, I had hated public speaking. I had never done it. I figured out a way to get out of it in school. When I was in kindergarten, I'd play sick or do whatever I needed to do. In college, I bribed my professors. I'd tell them I'll grade all your papers, I'll do extra credit, whatever I have to do, not to stand on stage and speak. And I got away with it, Dr. Fred, up until the day you called me. I had never spoken on a stage. And I remember you called me and you said, hey, you want to run our team breakout sessions? And it was like this out of the body experience. I heard myself say yes. And I was like watching the conversation. And then I remember I said, okay, what do you want me to do? And your exact words were, just do your thing, do what you do best. You got this. I trust you. Love, bye. Just typical Dr. Fred. And I remember after the phone hung up, I thought like, oh shit, like what did I just agree? What am I doing? Okay, I guess I'm running this team training. And it was the perfect example. And I thought of that quote that I've heard you say, you know it's your purpose when it pulls you. And throughout then, as my journey has progressed and grown, and now I get to coach TAs in all different offices all around the world, it's always been a pull. Like it's never like, do I work my butt off? Absolutely. Am I up at 4 a.m. doing my rituals? Absolutely. But it never feels like hard. It never feels like I'm pushing. It always feels like I'm natural and in my flow, like the purpose is pulling me. And so I think that's something that really since that moment I've lived by, and that was the moment I started embodying that. So thank you to you for that.
Well, I also remember, like the true leader that you are, you told me you were scared to death, and
yeah.
It's so funny that your interpretation of my conversation, because it's everybody knows in Leith that my favorite words are that's not my job. It's like I trust you figure it out, right?
Yeah.
But like a true leader, you went to Roberto Monaco's and you said, shit, I gotta talk. I need a trainer. We need to give a shout out to Roberto because he's the one that's really responsible for you being able to get up on stage and giving you confidence. Because I remember the difference between when you started, you did a good job because you have natural energy, you have natural inspiration. But like Roberto says, structure gives you freedom. And then the next time after Roberto, then it's like, okay, now you're a professional speaker.
Absolutely. Roberto has this slide that he shares at Influence from the Front. And there's this picture of a stage, and the spotlight is on the stage. And he says, this is how most people think of public speaking. And then he turns to the next photo, and it's the audience with the spotlight on the audience. And he said, this is what's really happening. And I give him all the credit. That was the shift. And I realized by me being nervous to speak, that was really me focusing on myself and doing the most selfish thing I could possibly do. So absolutely, he's incredible. I know a lot of the elite offices are doing workshops and now able to help so many more people because of Roberto. And I give him all the credit for my speaking skills as well. He's phenomenal.
Yeah, well, that's a standard. I mean, we have certain standards in elite, and one of them is if you're a chiropractor, you need to be a professional speaker. So Roberto speaks we have the annual coming up, October 19, 20. The theme is Becoming Unstoppable. And just to give a quick brief on that, we have 12 amazing world-class speakers, Chris Zano, Dan Pompa. We have 4 people that aren't even in chiropractic. Selena Moon, she's a master NLP. She's got a whole life coaching system around the world. We have Rick Sapio, Ben Greenfield, who's got a massive culture on health and fitness. And actually my sister, who's a high-level executive in Adobe, the Adobe ships are around the world that runs a sales team. We're going to be interviewing her. But we have great 12 amazing world-class speakers. October 19, 20, go to elitecoachingllc.com. Just sign up. It's all about mindset and becoming unstoppable. And then what we also do are boot camps. So that's really where you started, was speaking at the boot camps. And that's a whole patient management system that's based on self-empowerment and NLP and teaching doctors how to find limiting beliefs, how to find that inspired emotion that we all have inside us. The main theme is any person, anybody, or everybody can do anything they want, anytime they want, when they want it bad enough. And that's really the whole summation of what the boot camp is about, is teach doctors how to do that to change their life for chiropractic. So you took really the systems of elite, and obviously you do that exactly like elite, and you've taken your own training and have adapted it to other systems as well. So tell us about that experience, like not only the boot camps and what, how that helped evolve you to where you are now.
Absolutely. Yeah. The boot camps evolving me to where I'm at now. I mean, I think that one thing I want to say about the boot camps themselves is I was adding up the other day, last boot camp, I was adding up with Dr. Corey. We were trying to figure out how many boot camps we had been to. He started as a doctor, I started as a CA, and now we're both have the opportunity to coach at the boot camps. And I couldn't count, it was in the high 20s. And every single time there's always something so powerful. I mean, I still take notes when I'm in there sitting in the back in between my breakthrough sessions, or in between when I'm not speaking, I'm taking notes. And I mean, that's the real power of it, is when you learn the skills that it takes to really influence and transform someone's life, those skills never go out of style. They always grow and you always expand. And so every boot camp, every event, the annual is an opportunity to expand into more of your greatness and to become a better version of yourself. So I think that's really how it's transformed my life. It's an ongoing evolution. It wasn't a one-time thing.
Well, yeah, and so now, I mean, you do the CA training, so and now you do immersion experiences, so you've evolved over time.
Yes.
And give you a plug. The whole premise again that we teach in Elite is the team runs the practice. I mean, you take these teams when the doctors are role playing, then you take the teams back there, and the level. Well, first of all, the whole experience. The teams come back different, and you create a team unity and responsibility where the teams, and I hear this all the time, when they take their teams to these experiences, not only your personal immersion experience at their office, but when they go through the Elite immersion experiences, they come back and they tell the doctor, I got this, like, get out of my way, right? I'm taking care of everything. You be the doctor. We're running this thing. So talk about that mindset that you instill in teams that help them come back so empowered and responsible, and not only loving the purpose, but living the purpose.
Oh my gosh, that's a great, I could talk about that all day. You just summed up my passion in life and my purpose in life. Absolutely. So really, what makes it so unique is empowering these teams in who they are. Because I feel like oftentimes in training systems, team members are put in this box as like, okay, there's the staff over there, and the staff is doing their thing. They're supposed to just check all these boxes. I want them to schedule, do this, check all these boxes. And the real difference is, there's a reason why every single chiropractic assistant was drawn to that office. And the stories that these CAs I work with have are absolutely incredible and life-changing, the stories that they've experienced. And, I think as a CA, you really get the better end of the deal, because you get to see the look on someone's face when they walk in the door and the look when they walk out. So the CAs get to really experience every day, not only being the best part of someone's life, but getting to experience watching the transformation happen. And then what I see oftentimes happens in my experience, then they're put into this box of, okay, just check these boxes, but they have so much more to give. They have so much more to give. They are the most inspired, pumped up, motivated people. And like they get how it transforms people's lives. So really what we do is we unlock and unleash them and set them free so that they can do that. And then the running the systems, the to-do list then takes care of itself. I mean, the to-do list is the easy part when you have someone that's inspired and motivated. They'll roll through that twice as fast when they're on point with their focus and their purpose in life.
Right. And one thing that I know we both teach, because it's a core value in Elite, and when you're with us, you certainly follow those systems. Absolutely. That is, and this is what doctors don't get, that I'm on the phone every day. You're just trying to help them understand that the more responsibility you give a team member, the more empowered they become.
Yes.
The more they want more responsibility. In fact, when you manage them and you give them limited responsibility, you actually create an employee. But if you give them responsibility and then hold them to that responsibility with a high standard, they will meet that high standard.
Yes, absolutely.
They want responsibility, right?
Absolutely, yes. And I think what I really love about Elite and what you just said there is holding them to that high standard. And the standard, in my view of the standard, is a lifestyle standard. And it's staying connected to your why within that. So it's not
it's a personal standard, right?
Exactly. It's not just delegating the task, but it's the way that you do it and keeping them attached to their why. Like whatever you're doing, taking out the trash, shredding paper, whatever it is, it's not just about taking out the trash and shedding paper. It's about the lives that it's going to change and save. And when people see that and see how, I mean, I always say practice is dynamic, just like the spine, right? Like everybody's ebbing and flowing as one, and everyone's doing their part to contribute toward the bigger picture of really saving someone's life.
Exactly. And I would say, what's going through my mind is when we look at, in Elite and your participation in Elite, what I do with doctors is we help them become great visionaries, number one, which doctors are naturally great visionaries. The primary job of a visionary is create unwavering purpose and to give responsibility. So when we help them become great leaders, great healers, and great visionaries, and the key is visionaries don't work. Visionaries create.
Yes.
So what does a doctor create? Well, you're creating on the adjustment because you're creating healing. You're creating on like the workshop, processing new patients, because you're creating a leader, not just a patient. You're creating somebody who wants to change the way they live their life. So when you understand, visionaries create, managers and team members run the systems. Managers and team members do the work. The visionary creates, but when the visionary creates unwavering purpose and the team puts purpose in every task, then they have responsibility. They don't make mistakes.
Absolutely. And they get to create too.
Yeah, they get to create too. So the doctor sets the standard. Doctor has to live by that standard and that example. So when we look at us as a team, like you and the doctors, trainers, and Elite, we create outstanding doctors. You create outstanding teams, and that together, you've been all over the profession. You see practices and you hear problems all over, and that's really the most powerful combination.
Absolutely. I agree.
So really the thing is, entrepreneurs and visionaries don't work. So the idea is what they do is they write checks and they let other people do the work, because guess what? Your team sometimes would respond better from a third party. So if you don't have a coach and you're a spinal corrective care doc, you will do phenomenally in Elite if you're committed. If you're not a spinal corrective care doc, you need to hire Hailey to come into your office and let a powerful third party come in there and blow a little dust out of the corners, clean the place up a little bit, create responsibility and leadership in your team, and you will have a different team and a different practice that will grow on its own on Monday.
Absolutely.
So that's for sure. So we have the October 19th, 20th seminar coming up in Elite. We invite people that if you want a mindset of leadership and really the mindset of becoming unstoppable, you're going to listen to 12 truly world-class unstoppable people. And then we have a bootcamp series that you'll be at the bootcamp series in Denver.
Yes, in December.
In January. So give a little I don't know, shout out, testimonial, whatever you like about that.
Yes, I want to give a specific shout out to the December Bootcamp, because I've been to enough of these. I've seen the patterns and seen what happens. The December Bootcamp and January series, a lot of times I hear a lot of excuses. Holidays are coming up. It's a hard time. We have all this stuff in the office, and I hear tons of excuses not to go. The difference in the teams that go to the December Bootcamp and the ones that don't, the biggest difference I've seen in their numbers is through the holiday season, the ones that are getting that continual training, their numbers stay the same or continue to grow. The ones that don't prioritize their growth, their numbers go down. So I think that's so cool, just something that I've noticed as a pattern. This is the most important one. I would highly recommend for teams. This is the most important one. You've got to take them in December. Start the new year strong.
Oh, definitely, because we set goals in the new year, right? And New Year is like a metaphorical shower. Yeah, and the things, because we work together on coaching people. Not only do people break records through the holidays, even when the doctor goes on vacation, they still have their best month. So if you think you're going on vacation, so it doesn't apply to me, we've had doctors go on vacation and break records while they're gone.
Absolutely.
And so also what we do notice is the first quarter of the following year is bigger for the doctors that go December and bring their teams December, January than the doctors that don't, because your momentum through that transition into, you will have a different first quarter of the next year. If you could break a record in the first quarter of next year that has nothing to do with marketing, because people come out, what do? They want an aggressive marketing program. How about we change our strategy in 2019? Rather than an aggressive marketing, you have a powerful team.
Yes.
Because that creates growth without work. I mean, are you guys tired of working yet? You know, I mean, do you have to push that hard? Do you have to roll the boulder uphill? Or can you just have an experience where you create such a powerful team and mindset and systems in the team that it grows automatically without having to do extra work? So you can decide if you want that to be through the holidays and the first quarter of next year.
Absolutely. I'm so excited. We have some special goodies planned for all of the teams this December. So it's a must to bring the teams as well. I think the problem with the doctor coming and not bringing their team is then you go home, you're completely fired up and ready to go, and the team is trying to catch up and figure out what's going on. So bring your teams so that you have that support system and everybody is just as fired up as you are.
Yeah, bringing your teams is mandatory. And if this is something that this whole message, you're ready to quit working and let your team do the work for you, just give me or Hailey a call. You can go to Elite Coaching LLC. What's your number, Hailey?
My phone number is 559-679-9883.
And mine is 949-791-2986, because I also have a list of about, off the top of my head, it's either 5 or 6 great bonuses that you're going to get, some online training, video training, that we're going to teach you how to break through people's mental, emotional barriers that will help you not only define their limiting beliefs, but create more lifetime patience. We got some bonuses that we're going to offer for people that go to the boot camps that we will guarantee it makes a difference, that your commitment on new patients will go up at least 30% in the first quarter of next year. So if that sounds good, give us a call. We'll show you the bonuses. And then we work together to make sure they get that result, right? That you don't have to work.
Absolutely. Your team's implementing.
There you go. Perfect.
For the teams. Absolutely.
Cool. All right. Well, hey, thanks for taking the time with this, Hailey.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yep. We'll see you soon.
See you soon.